Yeah, welcome back to ParlourTalk. I've still got Kunle, and we're discussing the recent attack in South Africa and the way forward for Nigerians and other Africans and other foreign nationals in South Africa. Another thing I want to ask, this the word itself, xenophobia, means the fear of foreigners, right? So,
Yeah,
and I know that that itself is a debate on its own. Nigerians
yeah,
naturally we like debating everything. So now there are talks that okay, well, it's not xenophobia because the attack only happened towards the blacks or
yeah,
Africans living in South Africa, and it doesn't really affect the white. Obviously, the Chinese living in South Africa, the Indians living in South Africa, the and the rest, if you like, that fair skin or Caucasian or people of other races. So, why is it that the attack is only against the black people?
I think the reason why the attacks is only about against the black people is because they share space with the black people, and so black South Africans do not necessarily share space with white South Africans or other nationals that are. So I think I don't know if we saw there was a cover from Times. Is it the Times? Yeah, there's a cover about the 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 margin between the poor and the rich in South Africa. There's a very picture with a very nice illustration about how the rich and the poor, how they live side by side, and the poor are squashed in squatter camps, and the rich South Africans, they have a basketball court, a swimming pool, and more space to themselves. And so the uh, poverty is everywhere, obviously, and but the
Yeah.
margin in South Africa, it is unexplainable. And despite the fact that the government provides social benefit like child grant, free access to health, free access to primary and tertiary education, and the poverty margin is still growing. And so, but the black South Africans share space with most of the migrant from African communities. So it is natural, it's normal for, if you share space with someone, they will do things that you don't like, and you, because you are the host, you would want to pass a message to them. What would you do? You would take whatever they have, because in your mind, you think whatever they have, even though they worked for it, it is still yours, because they make those, they make whatever they made from South Africa. So it is just some sort of ignorance, and why they would just say, and most of the time, they, it might be because of the bad migrants. So they might even have, it's maybe someone commits a crime and is not from South Africa, and they want to pass a message. They might just go on a rampage, and even the good migrant will be affected. So everyone get affected whenever they go against them. So the reason why they only get to attack um, fellow Black Africans is because they share space together.
with Kunle Owolabi. And just to recap of what we've discussed and my thoughts on the happenings in South Africa and the events, actions of Nigerian government and the Nigerian people following the episodes or the events that have happened in South Africa. Um, First things first, I'd like to, because once in a while when our government do things that are commendable, we should, yeah. I give quite kudos to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, because it seems we set to task immediately when these things happen um, this week or last week, and since then a lot of events have followed the the initial response of the federal government through the foreign minister, and there've been joint press conference. Nigeria, the vice president withdrew from the World Economic Forum. Nigeria's High Commissioner to South Africa has been recalled, um, among other things. And I've got my thoughts on these things that have happened. On the recall of the Nigerian High Commissioner, it leaves some things open-ended. And I asked Kunle in that interview that if you're recalling the High Commissioner of Nigeria in South Africa, where does that leave Nigerians living in South Africa? Not everyone. Yeah, there's a plane to lift Nigerians that are ready to go back home, back to Nigeria. But there's also the problem that not all Nigerians living in South Africa can leave or are ready to leave. Some of them, like Kunle, has lived in South Africa for more than a decade, and you can't call anywhere else but that your home if you've lived somewhere for 10 years. And now the High Commissioner has been recalled. So who primarily looks after the interest of Nigerians in South Africa? I understand that there are still consulates in South Africa, and we're hoping and hopefully they will be providing succor and support to Nigerians living in South Africa. But primarily, the reason why the High Commissioner is there is for the interest of Nigeria and Nigerian people in South Africa. So, if we're recalling a High Commissioner, what's the end game? Are we just throwing political tantrum, or what statement are we making? Is the High Commissioner going to return at some point? And also, if our High Commissioner has been recalled, why do we still have the High Commissioner of South Africa in Nigeria? Why hasn't he been sent back to South Africa too, as a statement? So these are things that they're open-ended. At the moment, there isn't any definitive plan on how to get this resolved. Also, the issue of compensation for people that have lost properties in these on the problems going on in South Africa. There's still a question of how are they going to be compensated? Are they going to be fully compensated or partly compensated? And what are the modalities for this? I spoke to Kunle at length about this, and while they're still doing investigation or asking people, trying to get more information on how this will happen, it appears a lot of people still do not have an idea of how this will be executed. And we know that in policy wise there's a plan there, but we'll need to see how this will materialize. At least it informs how people are going to plan their lives after that. Okay, well, do I wait for my compensation? Is it going to take 6 months? Is it going to take 1 year? If I leave, what happens to my compensation? It goes into the planning as well. Also, the people airlifted back to Nigeria, do we actually have plans to actually take care of them when they get to Nigeria, or to resettle them, among other things? We haven't seen that at the moment. We've had a situation of people airlifted from Libya and just get brought back to Nigeria, and that's about it. We're on to the next one. So we need to look at things from that perspective as well, that it's not all about just shutting doors. Sometimes it's about making a statement and having a productive dialogue as to the sustainability and the relationship, if it will continue between the two countries. Um, Also, this important part that I think needs to be talked about as well is the reprisal attacks that's been happening all over Nigeria. One thing I think Nigerians need to get straight is, there's a saying by Gandhi that says, "An eye for an eye will leave the whole world blind." The attacks on Nigerians in South Africa is not really an attack on big corporate organizations in South Africa. There are not. There aren't many multinationals that are Nigerian owned in South Africa like we have in Nigeria. So you're looking at small scale businesses, people that are just sole traders, sole owners, or small businesses employing small number of people running businesses in South Africa. They're getting their properties are getting destroyed, and you equate that to multinationals in Nigeria whose employees are mainly Nigerians. It doesn't really make sense, because as far as I'm concerned, that approach is a lose-lose situation. The South Africans that are clamoring or canvassing that Nigerians are taking their jobs or doing whatever, they do not have, and I stand to be correct, they do not have direct ties or are not directly suffering from South Africa, from MTN, ShopRite, or MultiChoice having their offices vandalized and their properties destroyed in Nigeria. The only people that suffer that are Nigerians. The board of directors of MTN Nigeria is like 80-85% Nigerians. I'm sure the large number of employees of MTN Nigeria are Nigerians. Same thing with DSTV. And also ShopRite, I stand to be corrected, it's a franchise that's probably owned by Nigeria and not a South African. So when we cry, we should try and see. So rather than just taking a knee-jerk reaction and reacting in a way that does not commiserate with the with what we're trying to solve. Nigeria is a big enough country not to have childish in dealing with an issue like this. These are trying times for Nigeria internationally, and it's time to make statement that we won't be walked all over again, and our citizens, regardless of where they are outside Nigeria, will always have their government backing them. I know that this might be a digression. The fact that this is happening in South Africa now actually compensates for this not happening in Libya a couple of years ago, when Nigerians were traded in slave markets, and when the news broke about this, Nigerians were repatriated in Nigeria, but I can't see any action that was taken against the Libyan government or on Libyan government, or as a representative of its people who are trading these Nigerians in black market. Things are difficult in Nigeria, but it's as much a responsibility of Nigerians to protect the interest of Nigerians in Nigeria as it is to protect the interest of Nigerians outside Nigeria. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you join us next time as we bring you another content or another issue that borders on Nigeria and Africa and probably the world at large. If you've not subscribed to ParlourTalk, please do subscribe. I know it's difficult to find ParlourTalk on YouTube, so do subscribe and hit the notification bell, so next time we've got another episode, you can get it first without any hassle. Do give this a like, comment below in the video or your thoughts on this, what you'd like us to talk about. If you've got any criticism about what we've discussed, if you've got an opinion, something that can enlighten other viewers and readers of the content on this page, do put it in the comment section.